control panel, actually we need to go to services, services.msc. You open services. This is Windows services. Open services.msc and yeah, this is the service. In the services list, so you can find here MongoDB database server actually. So MongoDB server, you can see MongoDB server is there. This MongoDB database server is already running. So if it is already running, so no problem. That means it is working fine. So it is working fine. So it is running means it is working fine. So no problem. Otherwise, you have to right click and select start. Why? Because sometimes in your computer, so many databases may be there. So many databases may present actually. So many databases may present. In that case, sometimes the other databases will suppress and stop MongoDB server. You have to make sure that the MongoDB server is working fine, is running. If it is not running, then you have to start it. So this is already started, and not only starting, go to the properties and make it automatic actually. Start type automatic. So then automatically it will start every time when you switch on your computer, right? Now server is started. So to do that, you have to start MongoDB server on your PC. For that, open services.msc from run Windows run option and right click on MongoDB database server and select start. So in properties keep the start type as automatic so that it will not have a problem later. So now MongoDB server started. Now important point you should know that actually the default server location of MongoDB is the default server location of MongoDB is it will be like this: MongoDB : so 127.0.0.1 so it will have port number 27017. That is the default port number. Actually, you can also use here MongoDB. So MongoDB : localhost and : 27017. So localhost is the server. It is the default location. That is the default location. So usually, so it will be host and port number. Default server will be running in that location actually. So MongoDB server location. And this is very important because later, if you want to connect with MongoDB, uh, you need this connection location. You need this connection location, right? So this is a Mongo server. Actually, if you try to open in the browser, so in the browser we have, so like MongoDB colon double slash, so local host 270 27017, like this we are trying to access. It will not work here. Why? Because that is only from the Mongo client you can connect. Mongo client. I will show you what is Mongo client. This is the default port number. And how do we connect with the Mongo type? Mongo client. I will show you. This is the server location, and you can connect to Mongo server through Mongo client. That means, so you have to connect with the MongoDB database server from Mongo client, MongoDB client. So client provides, what is MongoDB client? So client provides an platform, So from where you can connect with the database server and handle interaction with the database So client provides a platform from where you can connect with the database server and handle interaction with the database. Provides a platform. Now important is client provides a shell, actually provides a shell. So from where you have to interact, from where you have to interact with the database server. Client provides a shell from where you have to interact with the database server. So client provides a shell. How do we log in into that shell? How you open that shell? And where is that shell? So MongoDB client shell provides commands to interact with the database. It will provide commands to interact with the database. So you have to uh, log in. You have to log in. Into MongoDB client shell. Actually, we don't need to log in. You have to switch to MongoDB client shell. You have to switch to MongoDB client shell. How we can switch to MongoDB shell? That you can do from shell is available in the installation folder. Actually, shell is present in installation folder. Shell is present in installation folder. You have to handle through that installation folder. Shell is present in installation folder. So we have to present through that installation folder. So I will show you that installation folder. How do we work with that installation folder? Where is that installation folder? So what you have to do is how to start the shell. See, open command prompt. In the command prompt, you have to change to cd /. It will come out of all the directories. You have to change to program files. You have to change to program files. In program files, you have to change to MongoDB. In program files, you will have MongoDB. In the MongoDB, so you can open from command prompt also the path I am showing you. So means from Explorer also. But shell is executed through command prompt regularly. And in this MongoDB, you can see there is a server. So you have to change to CD server. In that CD bin, CD version number will be there. Our version number is 4.4. So CD 4.4. Yeah. And CD, so bin. Now here you can see there is Mongo exe. There is Mongo exe and MongoD. So we have some exe files, and Mongo exe is the command used to execute, used to start the Mongo shell, used to start the Mongo shell. So you have to type here. You have to type Mongo, just Mongo. Actually, exe files .exe, but exe files don't need extension exe. You have to just run Mongo. And when you run Mongo, just when you run Mongo, automatically it will connect with the Mongo server and it starts the shell command. Shell, that means now Mongo terminal is ready. This is called Mongo shell. And you see now it is connected DB colon /127.001.27017. This is the default location of MongoDB server. So if you want to connect with Mongo server in future, you have to use this command. So this connection string, you have to use this connection string. So you have to change to that location and open. There is another way actually. Now, in order to close this shell, you can simply say exit and it closes the shell. Now the shell is terminated. So that means you are disconnected. So every time you have to log in into shell and from there you have to execute the commands. Generally, you can try this way also. What you can do, you open Explorer, go to C drive. In C drive, what you have to do is, so here you have to double click on Mongo, right? Mongo application. So that is an exe file. Mongo application exe file. So to open the shell, to open the shell. from where we can write the commands. This is the path actually. This is the path from where you can configure and use it. Another way is, or you can do another way. So you can also log in from command prompt. So that you have to do by using this. That means we have to change actually the steps I am giving here. So C colon slash here CD program files, and you will get into C colon slash program files. In that you have to change to so CD mongodb. Then you will get into C colon slash program files slash mongodb slash, yeah, here we have to change to CD server. Then you will have CD program files, and in that we have mongodb. In that we have a server. So in that our version number is 4.4. That means again we have to change to this here CD 4.4, and here we need to change to 4.4. Then here CD bin, we have to change into that CD bin. So in 4.4, so you have to change to bin folder, bin. Here you have to type mongo.exe. I given the complete process because some people are little bit confused. That is the reason I'm giving this process. You can use either way. So you can use either way, right? So we can configure in these two techniques. Now once the shell is started, now you can start working with the shell. That means the MongoDB shell is ready. Now so many points are there. Generally, when you are working with the shell, the port numbers, the servers, so all these you can change according to your requirement. It's not mandatory that you have to use the same. You can change at high level. So at various occasions, we need to change. So for example, suppose by default port number is this. So you can change the port number. So so you can change the MongoDB default port number. So what you have to do is, so from the shell, so this mongo.exe will give you the shell. So we'll give you the shell. So this is a shell commands here. We have to type the shell commands here. So, and if you want to close, then we have to just say exit. So to close. And here what you can do is, see what I'm doing again here, command prompt, CD program files, CD mongodb, CD server, CD 4.4, CD bin. Okay, and Mongo, that client starts here. And once the client starts, so here we can write the command. So mongo hyphen port is equal to some port number. That means you can give on a different port number. You can configure on a specific port number. It will use that port number. It will handle that port number. So you can write like this. Default port number is this. This is the port number to change the port number. If you want to change the port number, then once you change the port number, then every time you have to use the same port number to connect with it. This is required if accidentally, if MongoDB is running on a specific port number and your IP address, others servers are also running on the same port number, then you have a problem. So until you don't need to change the port numbers, but you can change the port number. So you can change the port number. So you can just run the command here. You can run the command here, Mongo. So we can just run the command here as so Mongo. So and hyphen port. So port, and we can define the port number. So any specific port number. Suppose 2450 something port number. Any port number you can configure. You can also change the host also. You can also change the host. So you can change the MongoDB host, default host also, default host. For that, what you have to do is just you need to configure so Mongo hyphen host, and you can give the host number. So that means you can simply say so MongoDB dot so your site.com, and you can define the port number. So some port number, some 270 or some 2450, something like this. These are required, especially when you are trying to change them and log in from some other location. These are all required. Otherwise, we don't need all these options. But just I given you a simple option to understand the shell command actually. Now, how do we start? How do we work? And how do we deal with all these options? Let's see one by one. That means how we can work with these shell commands, how we can deal with the shell commands. Let's see one by one. That means you have to start working with this so shell. You have to start working with the shell. Right. Actually, generally, when you are dealing with the MongoDB database, I already told you that a GUI is also present. Graphical interface also present. So that graphical interface allows you to do all by yourself. Means easily. Visual interface. You see, we have MongoDB Compass. There is a MongoDB Compass. If I open this MongoDB Compass, right, which yesterday I told you that it is an optional one, you can install it. There is the MongoDB Compass. It is a GUI environment. So from here, you can connect, you can log in, you can communicate with the cloud environment. You can do all the work here. You can do all the work here. So whatever, that means visually, like how you work with Visual Studio, you can see it will give you all these options. And you can connect. So it says that paste your connection string. So you have to configure your connection string, and you have to connect with, and you have to use the data. Connection string, suppose it is so MongoDB :/. So 127.0.0.1:27017. That is the connection string. And we need to connect to that connections. So it has to connect to that connection string. You can see it is connected. And once it is connected, you see there are options like create database. By default, it is showing you. So what databases are there? We have admin database, config database, local database. So performance, how it is performing, the load, everything we can understand here. And database, you can create a new database here. You can create tables here. You can, left side, you can see the panel here. This is the admin. In the admin, what tables are there? You can create tables. Everything graphically you can do. I will tell you what are tables, how do we design and all, we will see. This is easy. This is easy for anyone who is not good in remembering the commands, not in good in databases in early, no good knowledge of this, then better you can use this. Even people have good knowledge of database, they simply use this to make the process fast and easy, to make the process fast and easy. So I will show you both techniques. I will show you both techniques. So how to handle them, how do we work with them. So if you want to disconnect, then just click on disconnect, then it is disconnected. So you have to connect through this and we can visually handle this. So generally, so this is one technique, how we can log in and use, how you can log in and use. Now there is another technique. Another technique is connect MongoDB. So you say MongoDB, MongoDB Compass. Actually, MongoDB Compass is nothing but it provides an IDE. So technically, it provides an integrated development environment. Integrated development environment. It provides an integrated development environment. So that means IDE. So you can connect with we can connect with server. We can connect with server. So configure and create database and manipulate data, and query data and query data. All these actions we can do. So these are all things which we can and etc. So many things we can do. We can even see the performance, network, so many loads, balancing and everything. So you can open. So how do we do that? Just I will show you the process. So open MongoDB Compass. Open MongoDB Compass on your PC. That is the first option. Open MongoDB Compass on your PC. So once you open the MongoDB Compass on your PC, so this is the screen that you will get. I will give a screenshot here. So this is the MongoDB Compass screen that you will get. Yeah, this is the screen. Yeah, this is the screen. Now here what you have to do is configure the connection string. You have to define the connection string. And the connection string, define the connection string will be like this: MongoDB : /127.0.0.1/27017. That is the connection string. So then you have to click connect. This will connect, and now it is ready. You can start working. That means there are several techniques. This GUI interface will provide an easy option for us to interact with it. So graphically, visually, you can click the buttons and you can do everything here. Shell requires commands. And this you can do visually. So your choice. So we will first see the shell commands, how we can understand, how do we work with the shell commands. We will see that. But important is you have to first understand before going into the shell commands the terminology. That means the basic terminology you need to understand for MongoDB. That means how the MongoDB database and the other databases, so they change actually. That means they are different. They are different. Means in terminology, we need to understand the terminology. So what is the basic terms? What are the basic terms used in database terminology? So you need to know them. Actually, some terms like I will show you here. So MongoDB terminology. Basically, later we will see others. MongoDB terminology. Actually, so in general databases, RDBMS, in general databases and in MongoDB, what are the variations actually? Generally in RDBMS, we have database, and in MongoDB also, so we have database. MongoDB also we have database. So generally we have database, MongoDB also database only. We call database. So that means we have database there. Here also we call database only. In RDBMS, we call tables. Database contains collection of tables. Here we call as collection. Collection. Here we call as collection. So generally MongoDB contains collections. Database contains collection. Collection is nothing but tables actually. Collection is tables. Generally in general terminology you call tables. Here we call as collection. We call as collection. And usually, so here in RDBMS, we call as a record. Record means you can simply say that a row, a record or a row. And here we call as a document. We call as a document. A row is called as a document. We call as document. So it is called as document. So generally, so the document means the terms are important. So in general databases, what people call and here what we call is little different. So that's the reason you need to understand. So here it is a collection of tables, and here we call as it is a collection. But every table is considered as a collection, and it contains documents. It contains documents. So we also have a field. So we call as field. Here also we call as field. That means there we call as fields. Fields are nothing but we call a column, right? So field or column. The same here also we call as field only. And here we in general database you have join. Here we call them as embedded documents. Embedded document. Joins are called as embedded documents. These are the basic things. Later others I will tell you. When situation comes, we can understand about them. These are the general terminology. These are the general terminology. So that means in RDBMS and when you come into this MongoDB, a little change. Database is database, but tables are called collections. Records are called documents. Fields are called fields only. Right. Now once you know this, now how we can work with the database, how we can check and how we can understand the database, we will see them. That means we have to understand So we have to understand MongoDB shell commands. We need to know the MongoDB shell commands. So the commands that are required for the MongoDB. Actually, you can download the MongoDB shell separately. As I told you, IDE is there. You can download from that. Now the shell commands, what are the basic shell commands? So let's see, what are the shell commands basically? How do we use them? First important, the basic shell command in MongoDB is DB. DB is used to know the current database. So which database? So first important here, remember the key point is MongoDB shell is a case sensitive. So that means capitalization matters. So MongoDB uses all JavaScript based commands. It is a JavaScript based database. It will all use JavaScript based like commands here. But few commands are newly added here, which we need to understand. So let's see what are they actually, how we can handle them. Technically, so the first important command generally is show DBS. Show DBS is the command which is used to show the list of databases. So it shows the list of databases that are currently available. So you can see these are the databases. And observe in the shell also, when we connect to the MongoDB. So that means when you are connecting to the MongoDB. So I am connecting to that MongoDB. You can see it has the same options. That means it has the same. Visually, you can see them here. Here we have to run the command. We have to use a show DBS. So it is used to view the list of databases available. Currently, what are the databases available? Show DBS. So you need to use these commands. Basic commands first I will give you. So first the basic commands. So the basic commands. Later we will learn so many things. The first important is show DBS. I will just give you a tabular form. Only two options are there. Basically, you need to know. So one is show DBS. Show DBS. It is used to display. It can display the list of database. So it can show the list of database available. And another important databases, yes. And another important is DB. It shows the current active database. It shows the current active database. So you have to use the command show DBS and DB. The active database is test. Test is the active database. By default, some database is active. It will show that active database. Test is the active database. So that is the default database here. Okay. Next important. So in the shell commands, so you need to know how we can manage here. We need to use another option, that is use. Use is used to do two things actually. It is used to change into any existing database. It is used to change into existing database, switch into any existing database, and also to create a new database. If there is no database, then it can create a new database. It can create a new database. So technically, it is used to switch into existing database, or create a new database. That means if the name is not there, then it will create a new database. So that means you have to just define the syntax in this way. We have to write use. So use and database name. You have to define the database name. So it can be a new name or it can be an existing name. You have to just define the database name. Just space, I will just give you here like this. That means here already there is a database admin. So use admin. It will change into admin database. It will change into admin database. Now when I type DB, it says that current database is admin. Current database is admin. We can create a new database. We can work with the database. I will show you the process, how we can create a new database and work with the database. But initially, to switch into an existing database, we have used this. And to create a new database. So, and in the database, what tables are present? So then we have to use the option here. So show collections. Show collections is used to view the list of tables present inside the table, inside the database. List of tables present inside the table. That means here we need to write here show collection. So collections, right? So it will show the list of the database available. Show collections. So show collections, it will show the tables available. Currently it is having a simple table system.version. That is the table it is having. No other tables are available. That means we have to use show collections to view the list of tables in database. Currently we don't have anything created by ourselves. We are just using existing database. Suppose how do we create a database? To create a database, just you have to use. So demo DB, some database name, demo DB. Any name you can give and enter. It says switch it to demo DB. That means a database is created by name demo DB. And you can see here. So this is the list. So this is the connection here. This is the Mongodb Compass. So in the Mongodb Compass, so we will log in. Here also there is an option. You can see there is an option create database. I have to reconnect here. So I click on that create database. It will ask database name. What collections you want, what options you want. So you have to define and you need to configure. The database will be created. This is an easy method. So we will not use this regularly. First we will learn the commands. Let me disconnect from here. First we will learn the commands, then we can use. Now you can see database is created, but database is not shown in the list. Show DBS, you can see database is not shown in the list. Why? Because here important is means how do we create a new database? So example, so I am using here. So use demo DB. So demo DB, that is the database name. So here important note you need to know is so the database you created will not be displayed in list. So until or unless it is configured with a table. Here table means collection with a table. That means if there are no tables, then it will not display in the list. That means to display the database in the list, there must be some table inside it. Then it can display. If there are no tables, then it is not going to display in the list. So database is not displayed in the list because there are no tables into it. Now we need to learn how to create the tables. How do we configure the tables? What are the rules for creating the tables? These are the points we need to know. That means now we need to learn creating tables and configuring tables and working with the tables. So how do we create and configure and work with the tables? So that we will see in our next session tomorrow. Why? Because by tomorrow you first install everything. Tomorrow, let me know if you have any problem in installation and any problem in connecting with servers and all, because MongoDB commands are very fast. In just 2-3 days, you will finish working with MongoDB commands. That means so very fast, very easy and very fast. That's the reason in a just matter of 3-4 days, you will learn how to build a complete database. That's the reason. So if you miss installing, if you are not able to install in 2-3 sessions, you will not able to catch what we are learning. You will not able to practice also. That's the reason up to this, you first try and let me know tomorrow, do you have any problem in this or not? If no problem, then that's good. Then in the next session, we can finish creating database, creating tables, inserting record into tables. All these commands we will learn step by step. That we will see in our next session. Okay, right? Make sure that you installed everything by tomorrow. Okay. If you have any problem, let me know so that I can check. Right.